Hello and welcome to the HiddenTracks podcast. I'm Shane Murphy, your host for this podcast. If you like what you're hearing, please 5 stars. Please please subscribe. Trying to get everybody's music out there, trying to get everybody listening to what we got going on here and what they have going on. Today, I'm lucky to be joined by G Love. Been a huge fan for quite a long time, and I'm very happy to have him on the show today. So, G Love, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Shane, man. I want to tell you, we're in the car right now. We're driving from Jacksonville. The kids and the dog and the wife. So, although he's being quiet right now.
Okay.
How you doing, man?
All right, man. You're in Jacksonville?
Well, no, we're in the car heading. Well, we left Jacksonville. We played there last night, and we're heading to Wilmington, North Carolina, kind of working our way back to Cape Cod, where we live.
Awesome, man. I'm in Savannah right now. So.
Oh shit, we're about to pass you. We're in Georgia right now.
Awesome. So, first and foremost, congratulations on your Grammy nomination. That's got to be pretty awesome.
Thank you. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's crazy. It's such a amazing honor, and we just been over the moon and just filled with gratitude. My wife was doing what she calls a haircut. She was cutting my head up with some scissors, and we're sitting out behind my parents' house in Sanibel, Florida, where we had a couple of days off on this little social distance tour we're doing. And my manager gave me a text. He said, "Yeah, I think you got a Grammy nomination." I said, "No." I text back. I said, "I think you mean we're eligible to be voted for." He said, "No, I think you actually got one." I was like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" And he's like, I gotta see what's going on with this. I'll hit you back in a minute. And then my phone started blowing up, and I nearly, it was crazy. It was just so surreal. And then my assistant manager hit me up, who, unfortunately, sign of the times, like we had just had to lay him off because he was on a fixed salary, and we have nothing on the books for the foreseeable future. And he called me. He goes, "What? You fire me and then you get a Grammy?" And I go, "What? Wait, what are you talking about, Mike?" So it took a minute for it to set in, and then it was like, holy shit. I mean, 28, 29 years into my career to achieve this kind of honor is such a huge thing. And it was really the goal. It was, to be truth be told, it was my goal with this record. I set out to try to make a record, that would be eligible to get a Grammy. And that's was part of my plan. And Keb Mo, it was part of my plan to work with Keb Mo. I thought he could help me to achieve that type of record, and that's what we set out to do together, and we did. We achieved the goal. So it was like that,
That's awesome. It's a story of perseverance too, and never giving up. And you've been doing it for 29 years and been great at what you do. And just the acknowledgement is got to be pretty rad.
Yeah, just to be able to do what we do and make a living, and get to keep writing songs and making records for such a long time, keep the band together, keep people employed, and get to have a job where we get to make people happy and inspire people every night. That's truly the reward. And you try not to get caught up in wanting to get accolades, and try to keep pure with your art. But I will say that, every year the Grammys are on, and usually we're playing in a club somewhere. A lot of times in a small town, somewhere in the middle of the country. And I always watch the Grammys after the show, and I'm always inspired. I'm never like I'm jealous. I'm always inspired. But there's a part of me that always says, wow, that's really always escaped me. the opportunity to be there on that platform and to get that kind of recognition. And so, when I sat down with Keb Mo, the first day we went in to write songs together, he invited me out of Franklin, Tennessee, and he said, "Well, gee, what's your goal here?" And I said, "Well, Kev, I want to win a Grammy, and so I could help you with that because he's won 4 or 5,
yeah,
and been nominated for a lot more than that. So it could help you with that." He goes, to get a Grammy, you have to make the best record of your career, and you have to have a super focused record that everything's very thought out and planned, and it has to sound amazing, and the lyrics have to be thoughtful and poignant. It has to have continuity as an overall record, and this musicianship, every note, every placement of every lyric, every meaning behind every lyric, every song has to have purpose. So every decision that you made on the record has to be purposeful. So, this is the type of thought process and care that went into making and crafting the record. We really built the record from the ground up. So we worked on the record off and on for over 3 years. And it really what came down to like constructing the songs. And there's a whole process. From the very first process, Keb said, send me 5 of your songs that you feel most connected to and most sincere about. I thought that was a little funny thing for him to ask me, like, well, I try to, as a songwriter, I hope I'm connected and sincere about everything. So I sent him 5 songs that I was really feeling at the time. And then a week went by, I didn't hear from him. Another week went by, I didn't hear from him. And I gave him a call, or I gave him a text. Hey, Kev, you get the demos? And he just texts back, yes. Okay, great. So I go, oh, well, what did you think? And then he texts back, I think you need to go with a songwriter. So, I've been doing this for a long time. And I mean, I have full confidence in my songwriting capabilities. And also my skin has thickened up over the years. So, did I wish he said, oh my God, these are the greatest songs ever? Of course. But were my feelings hurt? No. I said, all right, let's go. So that's when we started. And, but it was like that. And it was a process. So I knew from the first song that we wrote was called Fix Your Face. And, that I'll just tell us one more quick story and you can take my back. This is kind of give you an insight and how the project went. So first, Gary Nicholson was the other songwriter on the record, and Gary Nicholson is an older guy, blues guy in Nashville, has done a lot with Delbert McClinton over the years and written for a lot of blues records. And he's an artist in his own right as well. So Keb linked Gary and I up. I showed up at Gary's house and went down the basement. I have always lyric ideas. So he said, well, the music will be easy. Do you have a theme? And I said, yeah, I got this one. Fix your face. It'll only take a little while. All you need is a smile, right? So then he's like, oh, gee, I like that. I think Keb will really like that sentiment, So we ran with that and we wrote this song. And then we took it to Keb Mo the next day. And Keb kind of picked it apart and we adjusted some things and some lyrics. He said, oh, there's certain lyrics. He said, you can't put that lyric in a blues song. And yada, yada. We changed some stuff up and then we went to cut the song. So we demoed it out. And making the record was kind of like making a hip-hop record. Keb is a blues record there, right? But Keb actually making a beat, like sequencing a beat like a hip-hop producer would put up a loop or something. And then we cut this riff to it, and then came time to put a vocal on it. So he goes, all right, G, let's sing it. So fix your face, baby. And he goes, not like that, like this. Fix your face, baby. And I said, all right. So I said, fix your face, baby. No, not like that, like this. Fix your, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. This went on till like 2 a.m. and I'm at 2 a.m. We're all bleary eyed, or at least I am, and I'm like 40. I was 46 then. I'm 48 now. And these guys are in their 60s. I'm like, wow, these fucking guys are going late. These old timers, man. And Kevin's doing this for me on every line. He was making me sing every word like 100 times. And I was just like, fuck it, I'm just going to keep doing this shit. Like, but he could have Jimi Hendrix in the recording studio. Be like, Jimmy, all right, try. All right, Jimi Hendrix said, excuse me while I kiss the sky. And Kevin would be like, no, hold on, Jimmy. Like this. You know what I mean? So this I was doing with me over and over again all night. And we finished the track finally. We came in the next day. He goes, you know, I was just fucking with you last night. I was just seeing if you read your work. So he was kind of testing me, but I really wanted to put myself in a position to be coached. So I proved to him that night that I was there to work, and he certainly was there to work. So that was like that.
That's awesome,
nothing would get by him. And any musician that came in the studio, whether it's Marcus King, or Robert Randolph, or Roosevelt Colley, no matter how great they are, everybody, they had to have their amp adjusted by him to help them get the tone that he wanted and everything. So it was like that. And he truly is a mastermind.
That's awesome, man. It's awesome that it sounds like you never had that experience before of somebody just pushing you to the limit, and it paid off.
Yeah, I mean, it was frustrating at times. I mean, there were times, especially towards the end of the record, and we're doing like the vocals. I had to ask him, I was like, look, man, let me just do 3, because I would start a vocal pass and he'd be like, all right, hold on, like this. And I'd be like, all right, hold on, because this has to be working together now for a couple of years. And I'd be like, look, Kev, we're just passing Savannah right now. That's so funny. We just passed the Savannah Harley Davidson.
Ah, nice.
I said, Kev, look, let me just give me 3 passes to just get into my vibe, and then let's break it down if we need to. He said, all right, G. So he would bite his tongue. He'd probably be in there just like, oh, I gotta. He'd probably get in there. Can't wait to tell me to change it up. And then we go back, and then go back and make some adjustments. But yeah, he did push it. But yeah, it was real frustrating at times. But the process, it was a process, man.
Yeah, it's got to be bittersweet, not only because your album comes out in 2020 during one of the craziest times in our lifetime, pretty much.
Yeah.
And you're still nominated for a Grammy, but you haven't been able to be on the road to support the album. I mean, what's that been like? Has it been kind of maybe a little bit of a relief on a personal level that you get to spend so much time with your family? Or has it been kind of also in the back of your mind, like crazy that you haven't had the opportunity to go out and show everybody what the album is fully about?
Yeah, I guess both. And, not to keep talking about Kev every second, but I talked to Keb after we all got sent home. And he was like, gee, what the fuck have we been doing? Because basically, there's this Neil Young song. Everybody knows This Is Nowhere, right? And over the years, I kind of realized what that song's about. It's just that being a touring musician, it's kind of like you're just continuously running laps around the world or around the country. And, it's kind of, before you know it, yeah, you're 30 years deep into it. And then we have now our youngest son, Garrett, is 9 months. Holy shit. So it's just amazing so it felt so great to take a breath after kind of grinding, like since I've been 19 years old, to actually be home, to enjoy my wife, get to know her, and my oldest son, Aiden, who's going to Mass Art. He's living with us, and going because his shit's virtual. So we've had 2 of his student friends are living with us. And then my youngest son, Lewis, who's 4. I mean, and then the baby, and then we have dogs, we got chickens, and we were in a happy place in our life, and the kids are just at the right age. And it just so happened that everything has kind of led up to this glorious moment in our life where we kind of have finally found our like dream place to live and have a wonderful group of friends, live down the street from my parents. And it just, on a personal level, aside from the terrible, business, the things that COVID's done to everybody's careers, on a personal level, it's been wonderful to be home and to find different ways. My wife and I, she's figured out how to kind of be my interim manager and kind of running our stuff and kind of figuring out different ways to kind of continuously make music and keep some money rolling in through the music, doing things like Zoom parties and some live shows, social distance. So kind of just like figuring out a different way to do it. And also I put together a new band of other kind of shipwrecked musicians, some guys from Slightly Stupid and other bands in the New England area. So I got an amazing new band called G Love and the Juice. It's a kind of a bigger band. We've been doing regional shows. So that's all been really positive. Of course, the negative side of things is that, like I said, we had to lay off one of our dear friends and co-workers, the band, the Jim and Jeff, the Special Sauce. Those guys, I haven't seen them since we all went home March 13th. The same thing with my crew, except one of my local guys been able to do the local shows. But and like you brought up earlier, I got a new record out that got a Grammy look, and yeah, not only can we probably not go to the Grammys in person and walk the red carpet, which would be just such an honor and a blast. We're not able to be out grinding on this record and visiting the radio stations. And I didn't even really think about that. But
wow.
I mean, that's
I'm sorry I brought it up then.
No, it's not. It's the great point. It's like, it's just a drag. We were, Special Sauce, we had just finished 1 month. We were 1 month into our year-long, record release year, which is going to take us to Europe twice, Japan, Australia, all over the US and Canada. And it was going to be a busy year. And it probably would have even been getting busier now with the Grammy. It is a little bittersweet, but it doesn't take away the complete joy and honor of that, and that's forever. So and it, to me, it kind of, it's also like coming into 2021 with this exciting news that maybe I'll actually win the Grammy, right? Yeah. Not just the nomination. And it's kind of, like I said, taking a breath. This has kind of been a pause button, a reset button, and kind of saying, let's go on to the next phase. Lewis, look.
Yeah. And
so that's kind of where we're at, kind of looking forward to the next new beginnings.
And you just dropped a Christmas song, which is awesome. Christmas.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Thank you.
So I was that came out, and I always love when people just come up with their own Christmas songs. I love original Christmas songs, but when somebody just says, "Hey, here's my version of what I want for Christmas," so I mean, it's awesome. Thanks for putting that out.
I put out a G Love Coming Home for Christmas record about 3 years ago or 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 10 original Christmas carols. And it all kind of got started with Brushfire Records, who we've been with for the last 16 years. And actually, the last Brushfire release was the G Love Coming In for Christmas record. But Jack had been doing these a Warm December volume 1, 2, and 3. And so he kind of got me really going on writing these Christmas carols, but I always want to do my own record. So I finally got to do my own record, and it's a great record. And get kind of looking forward to like doing Coming Home for Christmas Volume 2. But anyways, when they were getting ready to do a Warm December Volume 3, Jack and his team reached out, G, will you do a couple new carols for the new, of course, stoked. So I immediately wrote this song, Christmas Joint, right? And I wanted to make it like the feeling of the Billy Joel Piano Man song. So that 3/4 kind of swing.
Yep.
And I like thinking about an Irish, like a bunch of people at the Irish bar, you know, like a beer hall with the glasses. I'm going to light this Christmas joint. So that was like what I was going for. And of course I sent it to Brushfire. Well, you know, they were looking for a little bit more of a family-friendly tune, not about marijuana. So they said, gee, we love this tune. This is amazing, but it's really not right for this record. So just put it in the can and give us another one. So I did. I made a song called Christmas Wave, which is kind of a really wholesome song about surfing on Christmas morning, which is right in the wheelhouse. That one on the record. And we had this single, Christmas Joint. So we said, well, let's drop that one this year for Christmas. So I'm glad that you liked it. And that'll probably be the first track on what I hope to release next year, a full-length record around that single.
Awesome. I look forward to that. You brought up something earlier, and this is where this whole journey of HiddenTracks started. And it's basically about your journey. You brought up doing this since you were 19. And my big question is, and you got your kids in the background, and this is where as a child, I always go back to a certain point in my life and when music changed for me, when it became something other than, you know, Disney sing-alongs or, you know, the Disney soundtracks. I mean, you and I pretty much grew up in the heyday of soundtracks, which was, you know, the 80s were just awesome soundtracks constantly coming out. But when music changed for you as a child, when you noticed that it wasn't any more Disney sing-alongs, or it wasn't, you know, Sesame Street or Great Space Coaster theme song, you know, do you remember when that changed for you?
I kind of want to say it was, so I discovered my mother's record collection, which was small but super awesome. And it was had like the Beatles' White Album, Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits Volume 1, Dr. John in the Right Place, Bob Marley, Rasta Man Vibration, and Legend. Like Carole King, Willie and Waylon, Donovan's Greatest Hits, like Donovan from the 60s.
Yeah, no, I have a Greatest Hits, that album. It's awesome.
So the story that's pumping into my mind, I don't know if this is exactly correct or not, but it's probably around the same time. But I've been taking guitar lessons, and a lot of my guitar lessons were basically teaching me how to play and sing Beatles songs. And so I have been doing that, you know, from like, you know, 8 years old to like 13 years old. I was taking guitar lessons and learning how to basically sing and play a lot of different songs, mostly Beatles songs. And so one of my teachers was teaching me Rocky Raccoon, right? Well, he had written out the lyrics and the chords. Well, I couldn't figure out how to get the what's I now know is the spoken word intro, right, to Rocky Raccoon. Somewhere in the Black Man Hill, South Dakota, there lived a young boy. Couldn't get to figure out how to sing that over all those words over the chords. So, well, wouldn't you know it? I looked on that record, the White Album, well, there it was, Rocky Raccoon. And so that was the first time I put it on. And that was the first time I learned how to kind of listen to a record and figure out a song that way. And I want to say that was one of those times. But I do feel like listening to that White Album and Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits Volume 1 kind of like subconsciously got me into songwriting. And I remember certain experiences with that record collection. Like the first time I put on Dr. John in the Right Place, and that clavinet line comes up, and it's like, whoa, scared the shit out of me. It was like, so that nuance thing is a kid like that sound. Never heard of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was, and of course I was growing up in the 80s, so my alarm would be WCS. So I remember like, Abra, Cadabra.
Yeah.
The Steve Miller song was really big, and like urgent, emergency. Like, so all these like, 80s tunes. Yeah.
It's so when you started to figure that out, and I mean, it's a very short period of time before you start really playing and becoming an actual artist. I mean, 13 to 19 is really a short period of time, but it seems like a lifetime at that time in your life.
Sure.
But do you remember when you first stepped on that stage to perform in front of people?
Yeah, I mean, the real big one for me was the 10th grade talent show at my school, Germantown Friends School in Philadelphia, and I had this band called Green Now, Citizen Cope.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it was like the 80s version of Peter, Paul, and Mary. It was like me, and I was always kind of crunchy, and a straight edge Quaker skinhead named Aaron Terry, and a short little Jewish girl named Wendy Beck. And the three of us looked like some kind of motley crew, man, because Wendy was probably, like, I don't know, she was, I don't know, 5'4" or something. I was like a foot taller. And I had long hair, and then I'm playing with a skinhead. It's got the Doc Martens and the suspenders and the pants rolled up. Anyways, I was writing all these folk tunes. A lot of them over the years have gone on my records. But we went in 10th grade and played the talent show. And, man, I'll never forget that applause we got from our student body. I mean, they would stomp on the floor of the Holy Auditorium. It would make this like cacophonous sound. And I got interviewed by the school paper like later that week. It really like kind of blew the doors off the whole talent show. It wasn't like a contest. It was just like a talent show, but like it was big. It was like, that was, and I'll never forget, like, it really kind of like got me in the head space of like, wow, I can do this, and I'm going to keep writing songs.
Yeah, it's that amazing drug called adrenaline.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I'll never forget.
That's awesome, man. So you're extremely talented. You're an extremely busy man. Let's see, you got a hot sauce line. You've written a children's book. You record not only with other people. You record your solos. I mean, how do you keep up? Or is it just something you figured out throughout these 29 years?
Yeah, I think it's like a work ethic. I come back to that word purposeful that I feel like Keb Mo reinstilled in me, and my father had instilled in me at a young age. And I still joke around with it with my father, like, because he always would say you should be purposeful, like. So, like, kind of like have had this work ethic. And I always try, when people ask me, like, you know, what's the key to, if you have advice for like up and coming musicians, for instance, I always say, well, the two things are be original and stay on the hustle, right? I mean, like the originality and hustle, right? So you can have something, a unique way of your take on the world and your take on music or whatever you're trying to do. Find a lane, a niche, then that's invaluable. That's like huge. And if you're able to find that, it will serve you well in life. And then if you are able to find that and then have the work ethic, right? The hustle to back it up, then that's everything. Because there's a lot of people, especially in music, a lot of people, so much talent. You use the word talent, you know, like I don't have too much, like, you know, quote, God-given natural ability as a musician. I'll tell you, I had no rhythm. My guitar teacher had to put my foot on top of his foot so that I could feel the beat, right?
Wow.
It took me, like I said, I started playing guitar when I was 8. I could finally tune it when I was 13. So I couldn't really hear whether it was in tune or not, right? Until years. You know, I listened back to my earlier records, and I can't believe they let them put them out with my voice sounding so flat. So I've taken voice lessons now before every show. I take a voice lesson. Been doing it for the last 5 years.
Wow. And that's funny that you say that, because a lot of what you do is based off of beats and rhythms. I mean, that is basically, to me, it's just.
I got the beat now.
I mean, and you're unique in that way too. But, and that's why I think you are where you are. And, you know, after 29 years getting nominated for something, I would have nominated you many years ago, because you were so unique and you stand on your own. To be perfectly honest, from me listening to you back in the 90s and seeing you when I saw you and enjoying, and I was like, there's no guy like this anywhere. And you set yourself apart from everyone.
Well, I appreciate it, you know, and it's been like, actually I was talking to Citizen Cope about this the other night, because he's kind of cross genre and so am I, you know, like, it's hard to kind of figure out, what is that? Is it rock and roll? Is that hip hop? For instance, because we were talking about Stick Figure, the reggae band, you know, because we were talking about playlists, like they get on all the reggae playlists, right? But for cross genre artists like Cope and I, right, you're not going to get on a hip hop playlist. You're not going to get on a reggae playlist. You know what I mean? Like, you're kind of in this lane. So again, just like you said, like, you're rich, you have a niche, and you know that's a great thing because it sets you apart, but also makes it harder to market. So if you're part of that, like the new reggae scene, which kind of I feel like kind of came from Sublime and then Slightly Stupid and then everybody else behind them. It includes bands like, you know, Stick Figure and Revolution and Soja and Iration and The Movement and everything else. And it's like its own genre. And there's all these, and it's really successful. And if you're part of it, you kind of, and you're good, you kind of have a built-in fan base. It's just interesting. Like, we're not like a jam band. So anyhow, but just to wrap up that point about originality and talent and stuff, like there's a lot of people that I've seen along the way that, to me, did have that God-given talent and so inspirational. But you know what? They could never get their shit together. Yeah. And that's why when I say to people, like, there's a reason you're going to see someone like, you know, Ben Harper or Michael Franti or G-Love or Citizen Cope. It's not because they're the greatest musicians with the greatest songs. I mean, they are great musicians with great songs, but there's a lot of other people that didn't make it because they couldn't get their shit together. Like, you have to show up, you have to learn to be a pro, you have to learn how to play the music business game.
Yeah, it's that work ethic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you brought up the work ethic, and I mean, you bring up Ben Harper, and I look at Ben Harper. He's, I mean, when I think of someone who constantly working, I mean, you want to talk about a man who constantly puts out albums, just like yourself. I mean, he just does everything. I mean, you know, one of my favorite albums recently was the Blind Boys of Alabama album that he did with them, and I was just like, this guy just never stops. He's just going to record, and you're the same way. And fitting yourself into a certain area, like if I ever meet somebody that doesn't know who you are, like I hand them, it's that easy. I'm like, here's where you want to go. And then you brought up Citizen Cope, the Clarence Greenwood recordings. I'm like, these are two of the greatest albums of all time to me.
Oh, thanks.
And I'm like, here are two artists that if you haven't heard of them, you have to listen to them. And I guarantee you, if you don't like them, then there's something wrong with you.
Well, I appreciate that. That's a record. It's that easy to me. Is like, I like talking about the vocals. Like, I wish I could go back now and redo my vocals, because I feel like the songs on that record are so awesome, and I just didn't really know enough about singing there. And like I said, I was flat on a lot of stuff. That's just like a thing. Like, if I could go back, it's one of those records that I feel like, wow, goddamn, that's a hit record. If I would have just like had a vocal coach or something.
Yeah.
But it's still really great. But the songs, man, it's all about the songs, Yeah.
So, I'm got two more questions for you, so we can let you go and enjoy your ride. I'm gonna make you. It's almost like choosing your favorite kid, but do you have a favorite song that you've recorded in your career so far that you just go back? It's just the one that you're just like, that's the one. That's the one that it's me. It shows you who you are. It's exactly what you wanted to do. It's exactly how you wanted it to be portrayed. Is there a song that you have like that?
I mean, like, you're going to be like, oh, okay, because it's your new shit. But, like, I really feel like the title track off The Juice is that song. And I feel like it's hard to say it's my greatest song, because I got so many records and the old shit's just, like, classic. So I can't really fuck with that. But this song, The Juice, to me, is musically, it's kind of, the blueprint of the hip-hop blues, right? That's what it is. That song is blues and hip-hop combined. To me, it's the messages. It's a protest song. And I'm not saying it affected the outcome of the election or not, but that song was written shortly after Donald Trump was elected into office, and I specifically didn't put his name in the song, but make no mistake, that was a knee-jerk reaction in 2016 to like being like exasperated, like, are you fucking kidding me? No more lies about, I said, bad news on the news every day, it's enough. You know what I mean? Like, that's, and then to take my rap to Keb Mo, and him helped me to develop this chorus, which is so profound and perfect. And in a great way, when you write songs, when things just line up and lead, one lyric leads to the next, and then you come to the verse. Keb said, okay, let's change this up. He put this chord progression. He said, it's okay, we got the juice. And then he said, we got the love. And okay. I might have said, we got the dreams. And then he might have said, we won't give up. And I might have said, we are the change. He might have said, we had enough. And then he said, we got the juice. And then he said, time's up. And I almost fell over on the floor. And it was just like, so, it's so timely, but it's also so timeless. And so to me, that's like my greatest song. And to get a Grammy nomination, to not that it just what is it called when you get that
validation?
Validation, yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of once again strengthens. It even more validates how profound the songwriting is on the new record. So I'll say The Juice.
Awesome.
I'll also go back and throw in a couple more. I do feel like my song Cold Beverage, for being such a quirky tune, is a perfect song. Okay. And I have tried to map it out many times over the years and figure out what is it about this song that's been such a huge kind of cult classic hit. So that's a perfect song. And I love the song This Ain't Living as well. There's a lot of songs that I love. I love all the songs, but
yeah. It's always a hard question because, again, especially with your kids in the car, it's like trying to pick your favorite child. It really is. So we'll go into, you do so much. One thing I'd like to get out there so people know about it, especially in the Northeast. I am from the Northeast and live up there. Your music festival, the Cape Cod Roots and Blues Festival, how do you plan on moving forward with that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question, man. Obviously we couldn't do it this year. And to be brutally honest, I don't know that we were going to do it this year because we felt like, even though it grew from year one to year two, and we didn't lose any money either year, it was a huge amount of work for my team. And even the town has embraced it, and it's a dream come true. There were some problems with logistical problems with the site, as far as it can only be a one-day festival. It has to be over at dark.
Mm-hmm.
So there's parking was an issue. There was some nuts and bolts things that kind of made it prohibitive to really turn a profit and get bigger. Just to be honest with you, I don't know that we were going to actually do it. And then COVID hit, so that totally killed it.
Yeah.
And now moving forward, I certainly, we're not, just because we don't have, after basically not working for a year, and then we don't have it's very grassroots. There's no financial backing. It's like, if the thing is successful, we won't lose money. Maybe we'll make a couple bucks. Citizen Cope was enabled me to do it because he gave us a very good rate on the strength of our friendship. So he enabled me to bring in a top headline artist for way less than he would have commanded.
Yeah,
because we're homies. So I owe him, a debt forever for, having my back like that. And so yeah, long story short is I don't know, and of course we'll have to see how it goes with any other festivals. So what that looks like next summer or maybe the following summer, we don't know how shit's going to shake out and what the future holds for gatherings. So we're just going to take it one step at a time. And if we have the opportunity to do festivals again, then we'll figure that out. But yeah, thanks to anybody that came and helped us to create that event. And it was really a dream come true. I'll never forget the first year. I mean, both years were just unbelievable. So it was great. So I'd love to be able to do it. Hopefully we can.
I have one date on my books marked, and I'm hoping that this one goes through, which is July 1st, 2021, out at Red Rocks. I like to travel to see shows. I've never been out there, and you and Avette are scheduled at this current time to be out there. And I'd love to go out and see you. So I hope things turn around pretty quickly so we can get some live music to see great artists such as yourself perform live again in front of the masses that you deserve.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And yeah, me too. I hope that happens. Yeah, we were going to be at Red Rocks twice, and both shows were sold out. One with the Avits and one with the Dirty Heads. So that was just another part of our summer that got jacked. But yeah, man, we hopefully will all figure out a way and get through this and
all right, so
be back to our regular kind of living.
My last question for you is going to be, we end our show every week. It's called our weekly threes. It's 3 things you're listening to right now. It could be new or old, but 3 things that you're listening to that you'd like people to check out as well.
All right, well, just going to be honest with you. Christmas, my new single, Christmas Joint, is on repeat. I can't stop listening to it. Let's see, what else have we been listening to? We've been listening to Barack Obama's The Promised Land audiobook,
yeah.
Which has, I don't know if you're looking for a musical answer, but that's indeed what we've been listening to. And this is so inspirational. It really like makes my wife and I listen to it. It's almost like you have tears in your eyes the whole time. It's a wonderful story of how it's just his life and how it led up to its presidency. And so we're right in the middle of that. So that's been inspiring us.
Yeah, it's the American dream where everybody wants to talk about the American dream. That is the American dream. And if you can't, I get goosebumps when I just said it, but that is his story, is the American dream.
It is. And then let's see, musically, what else? What have we been?
The new hit by that guy, Big Sam. Something.
Oh yeah. My buddy Big Sam from New Orleans just dropped this hit called "Blessed Be the Fruit," and this is like a real throwback sounding tune. It sounds like The Time, if you recall the band The Time from Purple Rain.
Yep.
More Stay
in the Time. Yeah, I love them.
So it sounds like that, and it's so funky, and it's cool because no one's really like hit that sound, and it's just a fun track. So
awesome.
Let's check that out.
Awesome. My 3 for this week are Unwed Sailor, an instrumental post rock band, Exploding Flowers, an LA rock band, and I've gotten back into going through my catalog, pulled out Buffalo Tom, and sort of dove head first back into them and realized that there's another band that just never, I don't think, ever truly got their due.
Oh, you know what else song I liked that got dropped recently was the new My Morning Jacket song. I can't remember the name of it, but it's awesome guitar riff in it. It was like, wow. It was like such a simple song. It sounds like Pink Floyd. It's got this great guitar riff.
Awesome. I'll give you 4 for this week.
All right.
So if there's anything that you want people, how to find all your music, how to find everything, if you want to get it out there, we'll do it for you as well. But if you like to tell people how to find you, how to get your stuff.
Yeah. On Instagram at Philly G Love, like Philly Glove. Twitter at G Love at Glove. Facebook G Love and Special Sauce. Philadelphonic.com is our main page. If you want to get a shout out, you can find me on cameo.com/Philly G Love. And that's been a lot of fun to do cameos and do shout outs to connect with people. And G Loves, that's it for now, right? Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we are the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you find podcasts.
So when's this dropping?
So we do know that I was going to promote it now. You have a live stream on the 13th.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So I want to get that out there. Anybody listening, live stream for G Love on
with the new band,
December 13th with the new band, The Juice. And again, we're Hidden Tracks. I'm Shane Murphy. You can find us at myhiddentracks.com. You can reach us at myhiddentracks99@gmail, HiddenTracks99 on Instagram, and HiddenTracks on Facebook. I cannot thank you enough for doing this. I know you're driving with your family, traveling. It's got to be fun and contentious at the same time. So I really appreciate you doing this. And again, congratulations on all your hard work paying off and being nominated for what you were.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. And thanks to all your listeners out there. And everybody stay safe and healthy. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys hopefully in person in 2021.
Awesome. So everybody, as we end this, everybody just go out, have a great time.
All right.